Hi everybody, welcome to this week's video, and in this video I'm going to talk to you guys at home about drones. So what I wanted to do today is talk about my new drone, and I think that anybody in the market looking for a new drone going into 2026, I think you should look no further than the DJI Mini 5 Pro. Now what I want to do in today's video is I want to go into a few reasons as to why I think that this drone is absolutely fantastic. Whether you're a professional, whether you're getting into the hobby, whether you're just starting out, I think you should look no further than the DJI Mini 5 Pro. This isn't a full spec video about what this drone can do, but I am going to go over quite a few reasons as to why I think that this is the best drone that you can go for in 2026. First things first about this drone is the 1-inch CMOS sensor. Now, the fact DJI have actually put a 1-inch CMOS sensor on such a small drone is incredible. This does have an aperture of 1.8. It is a fixed 1.8 aperture with an equivalent focal length of 24mm. So when you're up in the sky, nice wide vistas, it captures lots of information. Very powerful camera, and it also does have the ability to flip to vertical mode. Having the vertical mode on this was quite a big selling point for why I went back from the DJI Air 3, which was a bigger drone. I wanted something a bit smaller and compact, nice and light in the backpack, and the fact that I had a bigger sensor on it than the other drone that I had, which is kind of like its big brother, was just a big selling point for me. But having the vertical shooting, which I think is fantastic, is a full sensor readout, so if you are into social media and posting on socials, when this does flip over to vertical mode, it is the full sensor readout, and having that in a click of a button where the drone flips the camera up for you and changes the orientation through the drone and on the controller is absolutely fantastic. No need for cropping in post because it's all done for you. Another little thing that this has is it does have a 48mm medium telephoto lens on it. It is, as you can see, just a single lens camera with that 1-inch sensor at the back. It doesn't have a dedicated lens for that 48, but it does do some trickery in the processing. How DJI have done it, I don't know, because the footage is outstanding. It looks incredible. It's a lot easier to use actually than my old Air 3S, because there would be a lag from changing over from pressing the 24mm over to the bigger telephoto lens on it. But having the ability to just tap in on this now, and it does it digitally and still has a fantastic resolution. And if you're shooting in 4K, you can punch in that little bit further if you wish. But that is absolutely incredible that DJI have put a 1-inch CMOS sensor on the front of this drone. Obviously, with it being a DJI drone, it is on a gimbal, so it is fully stabilized. So if this is being pushed around by the wind a little bit, it is nice and stable footage, which is fantastic. It does also come with a 225-degree camera roll, so when you are on about shooting, you can actually use this for some quirky shots and get a 225-degree roll. Goes over, I think, 1 to 45 on one side and the rest on the other. Doesn't do the full 360 like its big brother, but having that little feature packed in as well is absolutely fantastic. It does offer 14 stops of dynamic range, but for some reason, I'm not sure if it's going to come out in a firmware update, but at the moment it's only in the normal color profile. If you are in D-Log-M or HLG, it does not offer the full 14 stops of dynamic range on it. It is 10-bit video coming out of this in H.265, which obviously gives you full flexibility in post to put your personal touch on it with color grading and such. You do get drone LUTs from DJI, so if you go straight to their website, go onto all their details of the DJI Mini 5 Pro, and you can get a LUT especially for it. One click and it returns the picture to what you want, and does give you that option, like I said, to put your personal touch on it in terms of color grading. It also does shoot up to 4K 120, which obviously was another selling feature for me. You do have to go into a designated slow motion mode for that, so just make sure that you know what you're doing when you are playing with the camera settings on this drone. It is a fantastic bit of kit. To think that it's 250 grams and it packs such an incredible punch is absolutely phenomenal. It shoots 50 megapixel RAWs. I think you also get the option to have the 12 megapixels as well. I've tested it out, some fantastic images, the dynamic range, the flexibility to edit then in Lightroom is absolutely incredible. So top drawer. So another thing, as you might be able to tell on this drone, is it does have obstacle avoidance. So if you are new to flying drones, you are safe and secure with this, because it does have 360 omnidirectional avoidance systems on it. It does have optimal return to home, which means if you do move when you're out and about, so if you take off from one spot, fly the drone, but then you physically move with the controller, if the drone does return to home, it will go to where it took off. But now DJI have included the optimal return to home, which is a nice little feature. So if you send the drone up and then say you go in your car and the drone is still out flying and you move half a mile down the road, the drone will automatically update to follow where the remote controller is, which is a nice little touch from DJI. Just an added precaution, so it does have plenty of other things on it to keep you safe. Like I said, that optimal return to home is a nice little feature. But having the sensors on it, having all the sensors on it underneath, back, front, sides, gives you that added safety. You can bypass things, so if you do have to return to home or you are relying on your sensors, if you can't fully see your drone, this thing will detect them and will stop mid-flight. Also a new addition, as you can tell, these two at the front, we do have Lidar sensors. So if you are flying at night, and obviously with that 1-inch CMOS sensor, you can have that option to fly at night and still get a nice crisp image. You can push the sensor a little bit further now in the ISO range, because obviously you do have more megapixels to play with, so there's a lot more flexibility. But having that Lidar just gives you a little bit more extra safety when you are flying at night, so having those features on this is actually really nice. It does come with, it depends which package you get, we'll go over pricing in a second, but it comes with the 04 transmission. DJI does state that it is 10 kilometers, but anyone who's flying their drone 10 kilometers away from them is absolutely ridiculous. You have to make sure that with the new drone laws in 2026 that VLOS is not broken, which is visual line of sight. Making sure that you can see your drone and its orientation at all times is very important. So having that transmission, knowing that you're not going to get any dropout in the transmission feed coming back to the remote, is really handy, and having that nice crisp camera and the nice feed on the remote is really nice to have. So like I said, it does come with all those safety features in it, so crashing this, you'd have to be a bit of a fool to crash it. It does back you up, does keep you safe, has lots of little features included. Now going into the next part of the drone is it comes with, I'll go over what you can get in a minute, I've got it noted down on the laptop here, but if you do get the different packages that come with it, I would urge you to get the DJI Mini 5 Pro Fly More combo for everything else that DJI gives you in it, which is 3 flight batteries. Now these batteries are stated to charge up and fly for 36 minutes. I've only flown this drone a handful of times. I was just eager to come on and record this video to show you why I think that this drone going forward is going to be incredible. I'm going to have so much more content coming out about it and why I think it is amazing, but these are rated at 36. Personally, I don't think you're going to get 36 minutes out of these batteries. I think you're looking maybe at about 26 to 30 if you're lucky at a push, and if the weather conditions are optimal. But a nice little feature with this is it does come with its personal charging brick, and a nice little feature that DJI have given now is that you can charge all 3 of these batteries at the same time, and it will fully charge all 3 in 115 minutes, which is incredible. Quicker the charge, the quicker you get back up in the sky. So nice little feature from DJI. And you can also use this at a pinch as well. You do have the USB-C at the back, so it does act as a power brick as well. So if you've got about 15% battery in all 3 of them and you're heading home and you want to charge your phone, that's a nice little feature to have. So get the DJI Fly More, because you do get those added flight batteries. I've currently got the 3, but I am going to add a 4, so that when I do get the drone out ready to fly, there's 1 already in and 3 fully charged to get extra footage and photos. Another nice little feature that DJI give in the Fly More combo is obviously to try and get that nice cinematic footage, you are going to need to stick to your 180 shutter rule. It does have a 1.8 aperture on it, so it's letting in a lot of light on that 1-inch sensor, so you are going to need to get yourself some ND filters. Now the ND filters that DJI give you within the Fly More combo are ND8, ND32 and ND128, which is nice. So when I'm out and about flying, I want to get the best footage that I can out of this drone. You do need, like I said, some ND filters. Going into the remote controller, if you do get the Fly More combo, you do get the RC2 controller, which is fantastic. No need to use your phone anymore because the screen built in is absolutely fantastic. I'm not really sure what nits it goes up to. If I do find out, I'll post it somewhere up here. But this is a very bright screen, so if you are out and about flying and it is harsh sunlight, you can still see everything that you need. So safety is always top of the list. Making sure you can see everything that you've got on that drone having the return to home feature. You do also have the modes on it, sport mode, normal and cine, which slows everything down, gets you that extra buttery smooth cinematic footage. You do have return to home, and you also have a pause button, so if you are out and about flying and you do fly fast and something approaches your drone quite quickly, you can hit that button, nice little safety feature, and it'll stop immediately in the sky. It won't drop out, it won't just fall down out of the sky, it just stops and hovers until you take a command. Press it again and the resume of the flight will happen. Fantastic bit of kit, and like I said, this is 04 transmission, so dropout on this is very, very rare. If you've got basically a cityscape, you are going to get interference in that signal. So like I said, the dropout, it's not going to completely have a secure feed to this, but it could happen. But if you are in a nice out open space, up on a mountain, out in fields somewhere, you aren't going to suffer dropout on this with that 04 transmission. So like I said, if you do decide to get the Fly More combo, this is what you will get within the package. You will get the drone itself, you'll get the gimbal protector, you'll get the flight batteries, you'll also get the bag, and you also get the ND filters included, which is a nice little touch. Thank you, DJI. As I mentioned, you do get a Fly More combo bag. This is what it looks like. So the drone lives in this compartment. You've got the central compartment, so that when I'm out and about, I do actually bring my DJI Osmo Pocket 3, which is what you are on. It fits in there, so I've got everything that I need, and then I wear my Fuji across my chest, so I'm always got a camera with me, I've got a drone with me with extra flight batteries, ND filters, and obviously the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. Nice little package. You do get a few more accessories. Obviously you get an abundance of extra props for the drone, which is really, really nice to have. You do get a USB-C cable. Like I said, the battery pack does offer the USB charging, so they do include that for charging. I usually always just keep it in this, just so that I know I've always got it with me. So yeah, plenty of props. You've got a nice little slot there on the top, so you can keep all of your props in nice and safe. It's always good to have them, and a nice little inclusion on this one is they have done away with these small little screwdrivers that you used to have, which would wear the thread down on the props if you did need to change them. Before I got rid of my DJI Air 3, I actually did have a moment where I landed it on the roof of my car, and a gust of wind took it off and it fell off and damaged one of the props. Nice and easy. It had the quick release, so all it is, as you can see, you just push down, twist, and they come off. Just as easy. If you do need to change them, just make sure that the colors match up, so it's orange on orange. You will see a little nib on the top stating that that is the orange prop. Stick it in, push down, twist, and it's locked in position, which is really, really nice. I'm glad that DJI got rid of that little screwdriver, because there was a bit of an uproar online with people that needed to change them. When the screwdriver would meet the screw, it would actually wear the thread down, and people were struggling to get the screws off. So nice little feature that you can just pop them straight off. So going into price, so if you are in the market for this drone, it is not a cheap drone. Like I said, it is the lightest class of drones that DJI offer, and like I said, if you do go get it, I make a big point of going for the Fly More combo, because you get everything in. I'd rather pay a bit extra and get what you need in that, rather than finding out that one flight battery is not enough, which I can already tell you it's not. You're going to have to go out and buy a battery for £69 each. So having the 3 batteries included, the battery pack, which charges, like I said, in 115 minutes, you get the ND filters, you get the extra props, etc. You do get the RC2, which is really, really nice, and obviously the drone itself. But if you do want, I've got a list here. So currently on DJI's website, for the drone and its old remote controller, it is currently at retail price of £689. If you go for the Fly More combo with the old controller, like when you plug your phone into it, that is coming in at £869. And the one that I got, which is the Fly More combo, is coming in with the RC2, the drone, the batteries, and the ND filter and the carry bag. Comes in at £979, which I don't think is too bad, because what DJI have managed to put into this drone, I think, is absolutely fantastic. That 1-inch CMOS sensor, the extra batteries, the Lidar, the 04 transmission. So many things about this drone are absolutely incredible. One point I forgot to touch on is at the side of this drone, there is a small quick transfer button. So if you are hoping to send over your footage in a pinch, if you're out and about in the field, you're out flying, and you want to transfer some of your data over to, you can press this, which immediately transfers everything over to your phone, which is really, really nice. So DJI Mini 5 gets 2 thumbs up from me. I think it's a fantastic bit of kit. It is absolutely brilliant. It does come with obviously the master shots, the active track. I don't think that in the 9 years, well, soon to be 9 years of flying, I've never used active track. I never used master shots. I like full control of the drone. It's taken years to get it to a point where everything is nice and smooth, and doing it on the controller is second nature to me. One camera, 2 focal lengths, another nice tick for that. Vertical shooting with a full sensor readout, another nice tick. And obviously, because it is a 250 gram drone, it does offer you a bit more protection in terms of falling under the law a little bit. The law still applies to you. You will need operator IDs and remote flyer IDs, etc. as of 2026. So if you're watching it now in 2026, make sure that you've got everything that you need to fly. This does come in the light category. So as you can see, it is a class 0 drone. It does come in nice and light at 250 grams. So it does allow you to fly in a few more places in the open category. I'm not going to get into that because it's a touchy subject. So go home, do your research. But this drone does give you that extra option to fly in a few more places. Remember, you can't fly near airports or places of strict security. You cannot fly there. Always make sure, I advise you go down and get the Drone Assist app. Very good. Live map tells you if there's any restrictions when you're out and about flying. So download that. It's so worth it. Nice little feature to have, and it's just easy app on your phone. So that's it. A couple of reasons as to why I think if you are in the market looking for a drone, don't look any further than the DJI Mini 5 Pro, because DJI, I don't know what you did, but you did good. This thing is absolutely fantastic. I love it. I'm so glad that some people say, is it a downgrade from the DJI Air 3, which was the older model? That is obviously the Air 3S, which does have that 1-inch sensor on it and the dual cameras. It was a great drone, but it was too big. And obviously 2026, I wanted a lighter setup. I've got my Fuji camera, the X100VI. I do have the Osmo Pocket 3, and I want to make plenty of content for YouTube because I want to try and hit 1,000 subs. So if you're not subscribed, please do so down below. But if you're in the market wanting a new drone, please make sure you go out and you have a look at the DJI Mini 5 Pro. So much more to come on this. I've got so much more footage to come, so much more pictures to take with it and to show you. And I want to do a couple of videos of me using this out and about in the field. So that's it. That's all I want to talk to you about today. So as I say all the time, I will see you all in the next one. And remember, see the world, capture life. Peace.